Sound like somebody back to the anger.
New Jerry.
New Jer Bear.
How many times have you listened to Vilified since it dropped at 10 p.m. last night?
Actually, I had some weed eating I had to wrap up today. And basically, just put that on my YouTube Music and just said, just play it like 10 times for me.
That's what I'd been doing last night when it dropped. I'd been weed eating.
Yeah! No, that, and then come to find out, of course, new song, new album. And fucking Cantrell is building it, man.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't care for Brighton.
I really enjoyed it. It was just good to hear that motherfucker kind of happy.
It was shocking to hear a happy album. Yeah.
Yeah, Degradation Trip came out 18 years previous or something like that.
Boggy Depot, neither one of those really known for all their happy tunes.
Not a lot of joy to be had.
I mean, even my song is that's kind of a, but it's not entirely happy.
Yeah, fuck you, I'm bummed out, but I'm going to persevere. That's pretty much in essence what it is.
Mead for Metal Podcast, no Krista this time, but
no Ruben.
I would count on
her. Nobody.
I would count on her being back next time, actually.
She is wrapping up, right?
She had to do a little service industry work over the summer. So, yeah, she's got a new gig just like you do, and everybody getting new jobs.
Yeah, might as well go ahead and broach that. It's funny how, granted, I mean, it's happened twice. But back at the start of the year, I'm like, I'm getting that Brent Hines Orange amp this year.
Oh, yeah.
And I had it by the next podcast.
Oh, sure.
Then we go back 2 weeks ago, and I'm basically I'm all but done with where I'm at.
Moved on. Greener pastures.
Yeah, if I could have stuck around, I would have. But the next day, phone call from a very good friend of mine. Let me know of an opening at another very, very local. And I've been very vocal about how local I want to be.
Man, well, you don't get much more local than they've got one storefront.
They have a store. Now, their product is available throughout the state, which I think is also kind of cool.
I think that gives you a little extra security there.
Yeah, that other people in parts of the state are buying their shit. The quality is there. Now, you're not going to be able to beat something like a PvP.
Well, they're the Walmart of weed, right?
That shit is conveyor belt weed. It is all going to look good, and it's all going to be pretty good, too. They have the money to put into it. This is mom and pop, man. This is what I've always wanted to do. If they were a medical-only place, it would be my dream job.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I think phenomenal weed comes through small little mom and pops.
It really does. It's easier to notice differences with locally grown product. Quality, absolutely. You can just look at it and be like, this was hand trimmed. And it's going to probably be bagged up by a motherfucker look like me.
Right.
Because I'll be the one bagging this shit up. It doesn't come in pre-packed and ready to go like you would get any normal thing. No, we just get bags of weed that we weigh out, bag up, and get ready to. I love that aspect of it.
The old song used to go, you take the good, you take the bad, you fuck yourself, and then you have the facts.
The ass of life. Right up the ass of life. But no, man, I'm feeling good. I feel like I gambled again, and I guess when it comes to shit like that, I put my mind to something. I guess I'm going to do it. It's a good trait to have.
But yeah, but you're just one of the cats that you got to kind of get over the change factor, and once you can do that, once that hurdle is cleared, then fucking the world's your oyster.
That was tough, especially even though it was going from basically I'm staying in the exact same business. It's just...
well, that was my choice, too.
Yeah, because I do. I love the weed business. I've learned a lot from it. I kind of know how it works. And I've derived a lot of joy from it. And now I want to provide that to people on a more local level. And I feel like where I'm at now will allow me to do that.
Hell yeah.
And, they worked with me on scheduling, which I'm fucking eternally grateful for. because they know I'll be there.
Yeah.
Like, you have me here on this day. Of course, now I'm waking up at 5:30 in the morning rather than 6:30. Had to adjust to that as well, but goddamn, what's one more hour?
Right.
You know, if it was like you got to wake up 3 hours early, that'd be a bit different.
Sure.
Like, that's a little bit of a life-altering time. Who wants to fucking wake up 3:30 in the morning?
Change.
Yeah.
1 hour doesn't change anyone's lifestyle.
It doesn't. It just means, well, my bitch ass going to have to go to bed about a half hour earlier than I'm used to. But you know what? I love sleeping, so fuck it.
Yeah. Whew. Well, oh, by the way, before we get too deep into this, if this is your first time listening to this show, shut it down and go find something else. I don't even want you listening because you don't. This is built upon, I don't know, what episode are we up to?
This will be almost 289 or 290.
Yeah, it's in that area. And it's all been built upon over and over. There's new information that's put in all the time.
Sure.
Those of you that have been along for the ride, fucking, you're awesome. And I'd like to say we do it for you. We don't. We do it for
No, we
our
do
own
this for
shit.
selfish reasons.
Yeah.
Very.
But yeah, if you've just picked it up, stop. Just stop what you're doing. It's the Mead for Metal podcast. Maybe we'll talk about Mead this week. You can fucking count on it. Maybe we'll talk about metal, and maybe we'll leave that to LJ. It's just that's kind of the nature of how it goes. But yeah, if this is your first time, and especially if you have shitty taste in music, oh my god. And if spelling's not your strong fucking suit, maybe all of that.
Oh man,
maybe just dump it and move on. There's better shit for you out there. And by the way, also, this is not a comedic podcast.
No, I have a great time doing it, and I laugh, but I'm not out here trying to be funny.
It's not derivative of fucking humor.
No.
There's some fun times once in a while, but generally we're bitching about life, as the rest of you do. We're updating people on kind of what our Mead project is that powers our all of our shit that we do musically, and we, I don't know, just kind of fucking roll with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a window into the lives of some people. And that ain't for everybody.
No.
And we don't fucking care.
No, that's exactly.
Again, we do this because we fucking want to.
I'm just trying to save people some time. You don't find something else. There's got to be something else for you out there. This ain't it. Now, if you give a shit and you've been with us for this long, certainly you want to see how the wheel keeps turning. Yeah, man, we're here for you.
Absolutely. If you've heard this diatribe and you're like, nah, I'm good. I want to keep going. Well, let's fucking go then.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So, fucking little passive aggressive rant over.
I don't know. That's without using. I guess the passive aggressive is not putting a name on it. But
no, I refuse that anyway. But
you are.
That's just sit back, have a good time, but if you're looking for humor, this is not your show.
No, yeah. I mean, if you even remotely have a sense of humor like we do, then
I got to kind of keep that shit under wraps a little bit. I don't want people freaking out and fucking calling Homeland Security or something, because I got what you might call a dark sense of humor.
Yeah. Well, goddamn, mine is dark and dry like an attic.
Yeah.
But I love it.
It is. Once you kind of really, really adapt that dark sense of humor, you got to know that your audience for that shit's now limited.
Right. Kyle Gass at Tenacious D got a dark sense of humor.
Can we talk about that one a little bit?
Why not?
You're a Tenacious D fan.
I am a longtime member of the D.
And I am not. I don't give a shit. You talk about Jack Black, first thing comes to my mind is the movie High Fidelity. That's all and maybe School of Rock. Tenacious D might come up five spots down, maybe.
The music or the movie?
The music.
Ah.
The movie I'm mostly unaware of.
So. Oh. Well, I'll be honest, if you're not a fan of Tenacious D, even outside of the music and just for their comedic chops, you would not have a good time.
No. That'd be like somebody sitting down, throwing on an old fucking Western on a Sunday afternoon, thinking about old grandpa before he decided to wrap his lips around the end of the barrel. But and then you go, well, this movie's on, but I hate John Wayne. Well, you going to fucking watch a John Wayne movie? Probably not. And that's the same boat that I'm in with Tenacious D, unfortunately. But
Yeah, that's all right.
But the fact of the matter is, there's some news since the last show we did, and that is that Tenacious D was performing down in Australia. Had, I guess, another like 6 or 8 dates, I think, left on their tour. And Kyle Gass made a little dark, brought up a little dark humor.
It was his birthday, or like his birthday was a day or two ago, and they were celebrating it on stage. And Jack Black brought out a birthday cake, told him to make a wish, and Kyle Gass said, "Don't miss Trump next time."
Yeah,
and blew out the candle. To which Jack Black fucking laughed.
Yeah, Kyle Gass went full Dixie Chicks though.
It's that Will Smith bullshit. Like Chris Rock said what he said. Will Smith laughed. Look at his wife. He stopped laughing and then went and was a man.
Well, he wouldn't want to piss off his wife's boyfriend, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing, man. Like Jack Black is a Hollywood boy.
Yeah. Oh,
and has been for a long.
He's a Disney boy.
Ooh, yeah. He's got his dick in the and DreamWorks, like the Kung Fu Panda bullshit.
Yeah, his voice acting shit. So yeah, he laughs. They do the show, right?
Yeah. No, the show completes without weirdness of any sort.
And then suddenly there's a problem. Because, Jack Black's agent got a fucking phone call from the mouse, and his agent's like, "Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me suck that little more. Yeah, let me, come on, sir."
I can't wait for you to hear that sound when I upload.
I'm sure it'll be great. I'm sure it'll be fucking amazing. Give me an Oscar for that shit.
There's that humor we talked about.
Yeah, or lack thereof. Don't laugh. Don't laugh.
That ain't funny. We ain't telling jokes here.
But and his agent immediately got on the phone with Jack Black. He's like, "Bro, you've got to distance yourself from Kyle Gass." And
again.
he did.
Again. He's got to distance himself again.
So when was the other time?
So let's see. They did the Pick of Destiny. They did the soundtrack, which was basically another Tenacious D album. Beautiful. Some of my great shit. And then after that, fucking Jack Black's Hollywood career started fucking ramping up. And the Tenacious D movie did not do well. It made money on DVD more than it made in theaters.
Ooh, back in those days.
Yeah, back like, oh, man, we don't got a whole lot of streaming here. Physical media.
Physical media, yeah. Shit.
And they put out an album, Rise of the Phoenix, in like 2013, 2014, I want to say. And there is a song on there. There's a few songs on there where basically they wrote a song about how Jack Black went off to make movies. And Rage Cage, Kyle Gass, just fucking left to figure it out.
Yeah.
He got a band going. He still did music, but he wasn't doing anything anybody would notice or care about.
Well, if Jack Black's not there, you lose your instant celebrity or whatever celebrity it might have been at the time. Even limited as it may be, Kyle Gass ain't going to pull that shit on his own.
No, he's one hell of a guitar player. He really is. That motherfucker can shred on an acoustic guitar. It's kind of incredible.
Like somebody's grandfather.
Yes. Funny thing is, he's actually a little bit smaller than he used to be, but he looks more like Grandpa Santa.
Yeah. It was like, man, were you in Kiss?
But yeah, I honestly, you can't fucking joke about anything if it's one fresh.
Well, if Jack Black was cool with throwing him under the bus as he did, which he immediately suspended the tour,
halted any future D plans.
Put out like a very official lawyer sounding fucking statement on the whole thing. But if you're willing to do that to a friend, either that's not really your friend, or you're a fucking asshole.
I would go the latter on that.
Yeah.
I mean, that motherfucker, Tenacious D has been a band since like 94.
Good Lord.
They had an HBO.
30 years.
They had like a 6-episode run on HBO. Little mockumentary style but granted, they were just a band living in a shit apartment. They've been a thing off and on for close to 30 years.
Yeah. Wow, that is shocking.
And now you shut it down. And then fucking Kyle Gass put out the most half-assed apology you could ever read on the internet.
I think it was probably on purpose.
Yeah, and then immediately took it down like 2 days later.
Like, oh, here's my half-ass apology.
Fuck
y'all
that.
I'm
not going to apologize.
You know what? I'm not sorry at all. Yeah, which you shouldn't be. Fuck it. Although, like I said, man, the dude went full Dixie Chicks. You might remember that shit from back like 01, right after 9/11, and they're over in Britain.
It's always overseas.
Talk shit about. If you're going to talk shit about president, current or former, make sure you're on U.S. soil when you do it. That's the only advice I can really pull for that for the day.
Yeah. I mean, granted, if the D were doing something like Birmingham or fucking Little Rock, they probably have been booed or shot off the stage.
Fucking L.A., they'd probably been cheered.
New York would have been fucking.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that sucks about it. They did this joke. Well, Cass did in a place where it's like, man, this is Australia, and the Australian politicians are the ones that got upset.
Yeah, so you have ones like, we need to deport them. Yeah, don't worry. Jack Black is towing the Disney/Chinese line. Don't worry. He's your boy. He's still your boy. It's Kyle Gass. Easy to get rid of him.
Yeah, so that's probably it for the D. And you know what? To be completely honest, that shit, like they put out an album a couple years ago. I haven't listened to it.
Oh, man. Well, you're clearly, so you're not a real devout fan.
No, I heard Rise of the Phoenix, and honestly, I feel like, man, if this shit were to end now, that'd probably be pretty good.
How many Tenacious D songs can you probably sing along to and not miss fucking anything?
The entire first album got it down. Goddamn, yeah. The Pick of Destiny soundtrack, every single song.
God damn. It's
first two
unnerving when you and Carrie are doing that shit.
Yeah. And also, like, there's some songs on the HBO special that, if it comes on, fucking... everything they did between 94 and 2005.
Damn.
If it's a karaoke night and they got the D...
Oh, they're going to get lyrics? I got them.
They're going to get the D. Yeah, I don't need that bouncing ball bullshit over there. Just turn it up and let me do my work. That's how I used to close up the bar when I worked at Goob's.
You'd sing people out the door?
With Fuck Her Gently.
That's an interesting way to close out a night.
And this is also back when I could hit like some high notes and like a little vibrato too. So, and people loved it.
Yeah.
It was funny. And I always try to do it with the inflection of the album. That's the other thing. I add nothing to it. I do it exactly like I hear it on the album.
You're pretty good for that. You're good at mimicking.
Yeah.
More than
I ain't
kind
pitch
of belting out
perfect
your own shit.
But and occasionally on guitar, I can like hear it and at least find out the chord structure for it. But when it comes to singing it on an album, from Tenacious D to Bon Jovi, I'll do it the way you've heard it.
God, I don't think there's an album that exists that I could do that with. The only one that might come close is the fucking Boston's first album, because I was gifted that shit by when I was like 8 years old or 9 when I got a stereo and like, oh, vinyl.
What, nothing off Power Slave?
No, Bruce Dickinson's not the guy you're wanting to cover.
That's true.
Well, Brad Delpy from Boston, you don't either, but at least
Fair.
I know what those lyrics are.
Yeah.
You whip out Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. I'm out.
Tap it. Who says this ain't a funny podcast? Fuck that.
Well, we're not trying to be. That's the key.
That's the happy thing.
Shall we move to the Mead update? It's rather lengthy this time.
Yeah, we better get to her, bud.
All right. So the Mead update for this time around, we talked about it, if not the last one, at least 2 ago. We talked about the new fermenter. We have a stainless steel conical fermenter.
Yeah.
And we had moved a batch to that for secondary, mainly. So I don't really have a good grasp of what it is of running a full batch through it. But what I've seen so far, I'm quite fucking pleased with.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, the bottling process.
We bottled directly from that with food grade tubing and directly into bottle. I showered Brandon a few times figuring out the new valve.
This motherfucker.
There you go. Smell like mead.
I want to say the direct quote is, shit, I overshot it. And then you just turned it on full blast.
Yeah. Thinking I was closing it off, but I second-guessed myself. I should always go with my first instinct, because that shit would probably have prevented you from getting really,
I had a channel manner Al Bundy. Turn it off! Turn it off!
But other than that, man, it works quickly.
Yeah, it really does. And, once you find the rhythm for it, Even when we first bottled with the fermenter that had the spigot,
Yeah.
that was a process.
Yeah.
This process was a lot easier, and of course, figured out exactly how to do it right at the end of the batch. So that next batch is going to be a cake.
Oh, yeah. We did all this shit. Okay. In the space of 1 hour, we bottled 2 cases.
Yeah.
So 24 fucking 750s. We moved 5 gallons from a primary into a carboy for secondary,
Right.
which will be our barrel batch. And for those of you that keep going, I'm intrigued. What's this barrel batch? Well, you're going to have to reach out and get a hold of me. And if you get vetted out the right way, I'll let you come to the house because that's the only way you're getting anything out of the barrel.
It's special.
We gave a thought before about parking it in there and then bottling it from that directly, but no, that the barrel is for folk coming here. If we buy a second barrel, yeah, maybe that's the thing we could maybe consider. Maybe.
Yeah, like do like small batch long ships.
Yeah, well,
You know?
and just roll it out. I wouldn't need a stand for it or anything else. I mean, it'd just be a matter of getting it parked between a couple of half moons and put it on the table, and we'll
Right.
just bottle directly from the barrel. That's a thing that we could do. But as far as how reasonable is that? Not very. Not in the near future. Because a new barrel, although it comes up once in a while, I was like, dude, you want to do one? You want to do? Because then it comes the matter of like, well, how the fuck do you do that? You can't do the entire fermentation in the barrel, nor do you want to.
No, you want it to finish in the barrel.
Yeah. So that'd be a matter of you'd still have to do primary,
Sure.
And that's okay. We still have we still have 2 buckets. One with a spigot that's perfectly fine. The other that so far so good. It hadn't cracked yet, but
Yeah, but man, that. Ugh.
But yeah, we could certainly go primary through that, and then once it's done with primary, then move it along, get it in the barrel for the secondary. But the secondary then becomes a major flavoring phase.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. That goddamn barrel is a centerpiece of an altar.
Well, there was that too.
It's more than just a fucking barrel of liquor.
Yeah. Well, honor the ancestors, honor the gods, honor everything that's there, and put the barrel right smack in the middle.
Goddamn right. I mean, there's a lot of things on that fucker that signifies joy.
Yeah.
Over multiple years.
Yeah, that's wunyo is the term for it. But yeah, man, it's the mead side of it. It feels like we really hit the gas pedal and then we lock up the brakes, and then we really hit the gas pedal and lock up the brakes. Yeah, I'm really tempted tonight after seeing how easy the bottling process went. For one, the bottling process with the new stainless steel conical.
Yeah.
9 stars out of 10.
Oh, fuck yeah.
The only way to have been easier is if Brandon could fucking probably manage the valve and keep an eye on the bottle, because then that would be just perfect.
Yeah, well, we got a system now.
Yeah.
And I feel like on the next bottling sesh, it will work.
The second thing, the fucking cleanup is just shocking.
Yeah.
I went in there with a little bit of dish soap and a scrub, and went in there and gave it a light little scrub all around, rinsed it out. It looks like it's ready to go. I will give it a more thorough cleaning before we use it again, but holy shit. It looked like I just pulled it out of the box.
And that I mean, shit. And it's got the nozzle on the bottom.
Yeah, which you can, that's where you run your lees through and everything else, and kind of see those come out. And then, yeah, there's a process involved with that, which those buckets will still come in handy for that.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Because we have to monitor what the stream is when we open up the bottom, and then once it starts becoming clear, then we shut it off, knowing that there's still lees in there, and they will form, but they'll form under the outlet valve that you utilize for the bottling. So,
and we got 24 bottles out of this one.
Yes, we did. But we planned it that way too. So,
yeah.
I mean, I think we'd had it stacked for like 25 and a half when it first went into primary. But, we
got 24 in a pint glass.
The
out
loss
of it.
coming out of secondary, there is no loss. Everything was left in the bottom of that fermenter needed to stay in the bottom of that fermenter. Oh, you're outcasts. Like, people listen to shitty music.
You're trash people.
Speaking of Do we want to do? Oh, are we done with mead? I think. Or,
Shit. I think we.
are we
covered.
at the right time signature?
Oh,
That's what I'm asking.
yeah, man, we're at about minute 25.
1 minute, 25 seconds.
Yeah, we've only been talking for $1.30.
It feels like it. Yeah.
No, we've been talking for 25 minutes.
Oh, 25? Oh, shit. Well, let's go ahead and I thought we were up against the time here. So what we're looking at is potentially probably picking up a second stainless steel fermenter, identical. They're actually aesthetically pleasing as all shit.
Oh, fuck yeah, stainless steel.
Yeah. You know, with a little Northern Brewer on the side, which actually they got a classy looking, logo. So.
Simple. Love it.
Yeah, I think a second one. If we do that, man, we're probably going to be looking at putting like pre-pandemic fucking cases out, I would think. And especially because of the fact I'm really starting to look into a few other things I didn't think I would ever do. One of them is a session mead.
Yeah, you'd mentioned that.
Session mead, for the uninitiated, it clocks in around 6% alcohol. I think officially it's 10% or less, but it would clock in probably around 6.5. And I would carbonate it. So you get a session mead that's more like an elixir, actually. But that's one that you can, and I'd put them in probably the half bottles, the 375s. Yeah, so that way you can like slam a few back if you're on a hot day.
Quantity is great.
If you've been out listening to Jerry Cantrell and running a weed eater.
Not if you're listening to shitty misspelled playlist. Hey, I get to play the game too.
Hey. But yeah, we're I think we're good on the mead trajectory where it's at. And a lot of those is going to come back down to how much of this can we move, because we moved a case of Troublemaker in a week and a half. We're sitting at 10 bottles
in
now.
the summertime.
Yeah,
that's the other thing. That is a colder time of year type of mead. Actually, you know what? It doesn't matter. It's when it's ready to go, you drink it type of mead.
So that one's one we have inventory of that. I only know of one that's been spoken for right now, and I'll probably buy one myself just to put on the rack because I haven't done that.
Oh yeah.
So. The other now here's the major update. So we had always been doing our batch one, which is highly sought after. People fucking like our batch one. There's just no two ways about it. We utilize it's a Northern European yeast strain. It's a Lalvin D47 that is generally a white wine yeast, but we utilize it in interaction with the honey. It's about mid-mortality, leans a little high maybe on mortality, but it produces a really good flavor, a very good dry mead. I've not encountered any other yeast that makes a better dry mead than the Lalvin D47.
Agreed.
Now, we did dabble into making some sweet mead, but it was still just straight up. It's what you call a show mead. It's what you call a traditional mead. They're the same thing, and that is it's just honey, yeast, and water.
Right.
That's it.
We don't get fancy.
And now, utilizing sweet mead yeast completely changes the game. For those that always were arguing that they didn't like our mead because it tasted like they were drinking bourbon, and it's not, or something, some kind of oak.
I'll say it ain't
something.
sweet enough to be fucking confused for bourbon.
No, but you get people. It's like, man, it's got a lot of tones of like hard liquor. Yeah, maybe, but at the end of the day, it's still mead. It's only probably in the ballpark of 16, 17,
Yeah, Troublemaker usually knock on the door.
Troublemaker around 17.5, 18.
Yeah, it knock on the door of the higher numbers.
But the problem was, so there it is, batch one. Well, batch one's a dry, one of my favorites, because it's just straight up just show mead. That's all it is. You're not confusing the flavor. You're not changing it up. You're not back flavor. You're not doing anything. You're actually putting out a finished product that its success is solely based on you knowing what to do to start that batch and what yeast you're using and the quality of water.
Right.
And the quality of honey. And that's it. So then we come up against, so it's a batch one sweet or a batch one dry. Well, that's confusing. Our batch one is going to remain our dry.
Agreed.
What we're doing with the sweet run, we're going to rebrand entirely and going to borrow from a concept I'd had probably 5 years ago, we'd thought about getting into not the essential oil business, but getting essential oils and a neutral base oil and everything else, and coming up with good beard oil,
Right, yeah.
shit to make your skin come back to life and everything else, utilizing the right oils and everything else. We never got around to really getting that off the ground. But I came up with a name for it back then, and that's the name we're going to use for this. So it was the Echoes of Ancients Landfall.
Boom. You think of that?
Yeah. So Landfall, that's our sweet batch.
Well, and when you mentioned it to me, and the name of it, I was like, well, fuck yeah, man. You get off the boat, last thing you want is drinking that goddamn mead you had to have because it's just been on the boat with you for 3 or 4 months. You get home, you get that homemade mead.
Yeah, it kind
to
of plays
warm the
in.
soul, and we especially got a little bit of a sweet tooth.
It plays in a lot of different areas, and the first time we're going to use a label with artwork on it, but it was in the public domain because it was actually from Roger Kokoff.
Roger Kokoff, goddamn.
No, I don't know.
The famed actor and artist.
No, it's a German fellow. His name slips my mind at the moment. But
Stick with Roger Kokoff.
I want to say it was like from like 1889. So yeah, it's an actual, and it was actually like a German how they used to do things then, with when they would make prints back in the day. I mean, the artist was actually essentially carving that shit in order to make the negative. Pretty badass. And
I'll be honest, when you first said it, I actually thought you drew it.
No.
I was like, where this motherfucker been hiding this talent from?
No. So, but that's the thing. It's public domain. So, most shit, if it's over 100 years, unless it's contested, it's public domain. Now, having said that shit, don't you go thinking you can use Winnie the Pooh willy-nilly. There are some things you can get away with, but apparently the estate has some control.
You can use that shit in horror movies.
Yeah.
Because the story, it's like the Winnie the Pooh you think of when you hear that name is not in the domain. No, that is will always be owned by Disney. But the story apparently is older than that.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of curious to see how the world goes here in another half a decade or so, or not half a century or so, because when songs start timing out, they start hitting that 100-year window. Some of it may even be 75 years. I don't know.
I want to say 75 is
For
usually
music
the
and 100
wheelhouse.
for literature. Yeah. I know it stacks differently, but but still, what starts happening when you start getting around, for Black Album times?
Oh no, don't worry. The
Year 2065 going to be interesting.
The family of the Hetfield estate will make sure that never happens. There'll be too many reissues to keep that shit alive.
Yeah.
Imagine how many Black Album reissues there'll be 50
got
years from now.
Sandman, Unforgiven, Pop Goes the Weasel. They're all in the same category.
Happy Birthday. That'll never be there. Everybody got to pay if you want to sing Happy Birthday. Speaking of Happy Birthday.
Yes. Happy birthday to LJ, right?
Yeah.
No, it was a couple months ago. But anyway, I don't know. I'm just screwing around.
It popped up on my Facebook feed, but it was somebody else.
It was a few months ago, I think he had one. Yeah. I want to say back in May. Yeah. Anyway, it's time to get the low down. What's going down with LJ?
Give me my need for metal. Yeah! Woo! When the hell did we get a budget to start doing intros again? Anyway, welcome back to the metal portion of the Mead from Metal podcast. I'm your host, LJ, and today I'm going to go ahead and lay you guys on the skinny. Or, what do they say? Give me the skinny? Whatever, let's get into some metal. Like this first band of the list, Category 7. If you guys haven't checked them out, I highly recommend you do, because they got some interesting metal, but it's also like what we're used to and what we want as metal fans. If you're into actual classic metal, I think you'll enjoy this, definitely. One to add to your playlist. And yes, the name of the album is also Category 7, just like the name of the band. So that's convenient, isn't it? Now, if your taste in music is a little bit more refined, you like the older sounding stuff, then allow me to point you into the direction of a band called Mean Mistreater. MEAN space MISTREATER. The album's called Razor Wire. It's got that distinct flavor that could have only existed in the late 70s, early 80s. Listen to it, you'll get my drift. Hey, it looks like Pete Townshend's got an album, live in concert, 1985 to 2001. That might be a re-release. So go ahead and, if you're a Pete Townsend guy, go ahead and give that a listen. And if you got more refined tastes, say from the mid-'80s with bands like Judas Priest, then allow me to direct you to the band Iron Flame, one word, IRONFLAME, with their album Kingdom Torn Asunder. So go ahead and check that one out, and you'll see what I mean. Now, we're going to go to the complete opposite extreme. We're going to go with more tight and precise metal that feels like it's coming out of a machine gun towards your eardrums. Let me introduce you to the band Summoning the Lich with their album Under the Reviled Throne. Now, I don't know a lot about this band, so let's go ahead and read their YouTube description. Summoning the Lich returns with the latest installment in their fantasy universe of technical death metal. The St. Louis, Missouri band's forthcoming second album, Under the Reviled Throne, is set for release via Prosthetic Records on July 26th, following the events of their established world of Arias on their debut album, United in Chaos. Under the Reviled Throne sees the next chapter of the Lich come to life through tales of isolated kingdoms, malevolent mages, witch queens, and cannibalistic armies hell-bent on destruction. Under the Reviled Throne captures Jesus Christ, they're writing an action novel for kids. Under the Reviled Throne captures the promise of the band's storytelling and musicianship that was so evident on their debut. Upping the stakes to dizzying heights, Summoning the Lich offers plenty in the way of light among the shadowy figures that lurk within the Lich's universe of malevolent chaos. All is not lost. There you go, Summoning the Lich. I'll be taking my check now. You're so welcome to my dulcet tones anytime for a fee, baby. All right, let's move on to something that doesn't require dulcet tones. Baby. Hey, Wormwitch has an album out called Wormwitch. It's a self-titled album. Go check that out. It's if you're in the mood for blast beats, you'll enjoy Wormwitch thoroughly. So, if you're in the mood for some Rammstein, guess what? You're sort of in luck because this new album by Soulbound is called Obsidian, Obsydian, and they think they're right up your alley, so go ahead and give them a listen. I would read their description of their band and their music, but it's in German, so enjoy. They sound pretty cool to me. Anyway, that's all for today's Meat from Metal. I hope that you guys have a wonderful evening or week, whatever comes of it. It's my day off, so I'm going to go ahead and record some music, work on some things, kick back with some friends, and I've got a flight to catch. That's right, flight 420. So I will catch you fuckers later. See ya. Take care. Back to the meat hall.
Performability from Studebaker. Performability exclusive with the 61 Lark. So exciting, you've got to drive it to believe it.
The 1961 Lark is real sharp looking. Just loved it, inside and out.
And so easy to get into the new 61 Lark. Widescreen visibility all around. You've got to drive it to believe it.
No question about it. You do have to drive the 61 Lark to believe it.
New steering for 61. The Lark really takes those sharp turns. New oval steering wheel feels just great. You've got to drive it to believe it. Thousands did and proved performability. United States Testing Company, certified.
High on Fire is a band that you turned me on to these guys.
Yep, and actually, I found them because I really like what Matt Pike does for Sleep.
Right? Yeah, because they're, kind of, that's a direct connection.
Not bad for a three-piece, man. Matt Pike is like, I don't want to say he's a more metal version of Lemmy, but the style is very Lemmy. I mean, he's not a great singer, nor does he try to actually sing. That motherfucker telling tales. All while chugging on some, dude's a riff lord.
Yeah.
That's and is pretty good at fucking soul as well, but riff is where he's at.
Man, do you think the days of that Riff creativity though, or do you think that those opportunities are more and more narrow than they used to be? I mean, fucking Jerry Cantrell is still a wizard. We know.
Sure.
But
we are in low supply, though. Absolutely.
But through just dudes is like, God damn, all they're doing is cranking out riff after riff after riff.
Yeah, it
Feels like I'm setting up, getting ready to talk about Pale Summit again. They fall in that category, but no, I'm not.
well, that's a thing, though. I mean, there are bands that are still like Basement. You know, I would consider them a riff band. It's just from a different era.
Well, they're post grunge.
Yeah, I mean, it's and it's fucking true to the subject matter that what that band does.
Right. Yeah, and they've got one that's an anthem that, holy shit, people over if they're playing back in Britain, goddamn, people lose their mind over. But
Yeah, apparently live shows very different over there.
yeah, man, that bands allow the crowd to just come up on stage and stage dive and throughout the show. Like, are you shitting me? This has got to be the dumbest thing a band has ever done. And then we found something else later, and they're fucking doing it with that band too. Like, this is just European shit.
It's a
Never
Britain
mind.
thing. Apparently, everybody's just there to have a good time. Now you're playing a dive bar in in the heartland of the country. Yeah, a dude with a fucking double barrel shotgun might come up and blow your brains out.
Yeah, you don't. There's too many bad things have happened with that shit in this country. You're not going to see that.
Did you ever think that the death of John Lennon would be trumped? As far like
there are some that would claim that no, Lennon was the big one. No. If you're talking about just tragedy, and what the fuck, John Lennon got caught on the street. Granted, right outside of the townhouse they lived in, or some shit in New York. Dime was doing his job
in front of his public, and goddamn, that shit's still depressing.
It was kind of weird that the world slipped a little at that moment. I feel like the simulation's kind of getting a little more and more intact as the more that things kind of happen like that. It feels like we took a path we weren't supposed to take,
Yeah.
in general on the timeline. So
Yeah, that wasn't the dude that should have gone.
no.
He
Yeah,
had-
then for his fucking brother to die, 12, 15 years later, somewhere in there. But
yeah, Vinnie Paul, I think he's been dead 3 or 4 years.
it's since this podcast has been going on. When that guy died, the word came out. We had just wrapped, and you honest. Brandon wanted to go back and redo the entire podcast because Vinnie Paul had died, and like fuck that. We did a good show. We'll mention it next time.
And I think there's
We're not a news agency,
and it was also back when we were doing it every week.
yeah.
So, yeah, yet Pantera lives on.
Yeah, which unfortunately Pantera lives on.
Well,
I have nothing against John 5. I like John 5.
what does he have to do with it?
Isn't he the? Oh no, he's the fucking dude.
No,
to
that's
say-
Motley Crue.
That's with Motley Crue.
Yeah.
Who's
Zach Wild.
Zach? God damn it!
Fucking
I should have known.
Dimebag Jr.
Speaking of quote unquote riff lords, but
Yeah, but when you're hearing a Zach Wild riff within the first 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Because you get the false harmonic squeals.
right.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's cool. People got their Pantera back. It took both the Abbott brothers to fucking die for it to happen.
And that's where I have a problem. Is that, man, Phil shouldn't be able to pull that shit with like both brothers dead.
Well, they had to get the blessing of, let's see, Dimebag wasn't married, but he had like a girlfriend.
He had a live-in.
Yeah, that's like basically fucking spearheading that entire state. They had to get the blessing.
And
Pan-
if she's in charge of the estate, then, shit. Who am I?
Bottom
to say?
line is everybody is getting paid now. I mean, Pantera's opening for Metallica a lot. They went and did their own thing.
I can't believe I blocked out Zach Wild from my memory on that one fucking thing. It's kind of like a pinch harmonic. It wasn't really a full note.
And, having Phil Anselmo just
Voice getting better every year.
God damn.
That's sarcasm.
I will say, I don't know. He has changed a thing or two. It's gotten better, but it's still like, oh man, there's just that passion is just not there because you're old and beat up, and you put yourself through the fucking ringer.
Once you get out of your 20s, your passions all fucking decline.
Yeah, and you say that's your vocal style. That shit, it has a half-life. You got like maybe a solid 15 years where you're going to sound awesome. After that, though, you try to sing the songs that actually require some singing.
Right.
Cemetery Gates, This Love,
Walk.
some of the more important songs, and you sound like you're fucking constipated trying to get through it.
Well, it's Phil. He might be. Could be.
Now, however, I would entertain the idea of seeing him with Down.
I'd be all right with that. But the Pantera thing, I have an issue with that because I know there were two other members, but the Abbott brothers were. If it wasn't for them, there is no Pantera.
Yeah.
You could still feasibly, and they did, have Pantera before Phil, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they had a different singer because I don't know how many people know this, but Pantera had 3 or 4 albums before Cowboys from Hell.
Yeah, because they were hair metal, right?
Yeah. Fucking might as well just call it what it is.
It
with guitar,
it would meld right in between Motley Crue and Poison.
But with guitar work, then you're like, that don't sound very hair metal to me. That sounds like metal. But okay, whatever. Then Cowboys from Hell comes out. They got Phil Anselmo on there, who at the time was actually singing this shit. It sounded more hair metal vocals than anything after that, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it was an important crossroads.
And Rex Brown, I want to say, is a founding member too.
Right.
So it's Rex Brown, the bass player, and then the Abbott brothers. They had a singer, and then they had Phil.
Well, Rex and Vinny were friends, right? From way back, being rhythm section cats.
I'll be honest. I'm not really up on the origins.
I'm not really much of an archivist on that shit either, but
I do know Cowboys from Hell came out and changed a lot of people's fucking thoughts on metal, how it should sound.
Yeah, metal was already under assault though by grunge, or to hear sad bastards my age and older when they start bitching, you know.
Good old days.
Everything was great, and then grunge came along and killed everything. No, it didn't. It's because people were sick and fucking tired of hair metal after a solid 10-year run. Good to go. Move on.
Yeah, I mean, how many times can you watch music videos of dudes that just want to look like ladies but banging hot ladies?
Yeah, man, there's still a weird chasm. People, again, my age and older, they hit a certain point and it's like, nope. I don't want to hear anything rock and roll past about 92, 93. And I certainly don't want to hear any grunge that was also going on during that period. They kind of fine-tune it in. It's like, oh, you're just talking about the hair metal, the glam metal era, which you could argue was starting about 81. So you're talking about a 10, 12-year spread.
Some people always tried to lump Queensryche into hair metal. Like, no, there's more going on there, guys.
Where they started and who they toured with, you could make that argument.
Sure. Now, who they toured, oh, absolutely. Yeah, like the Warning album.
Yeah.
But even then, like guitar-wise, there was some fucking intricate shit going on. It wasn't just fuck riffs.
Yeah. Well, there were also other guitar players of some note that had honed their craft out of the hair metal era. I mean, people will hate me for it, but C.C. DeVille right at the top of the list.
Hey, C.C. DeVille is the only member of that fucking band who doesn't look like he was in a hair metal band when he was younger.
Right.
Bret Michaels, he fucking looks exactly the
You
same.
gotta beat that hepatitis. He still look a little happy.
Thank you, Pam Anderson. Did he get it from her?
I don't know. It's odd that they both had it though, right? Or maybe not so odd.
I don't know. Then Tommy Lee got it. I think that bitch was carrying the hip.
Boy.
Not the good kind either. Is there a good kind?
One you pass around.
Yeah, Ricky Rocket, that motherfucker still holding on to the hairstyle.
Trying.
And eyeliner.
Should look a little thin through the upper reaches.
Fuck, I can't remember the name of the bass player. But the one that actually looked like a dude. he fucking looks like, yeah, that dude looks like he used to be in a hair metal band. CC DeVille just went like, no, I'm just going to grow a beard. I'm going to look homeless is what I'm going to do. And I'm still going to shred.
Yeah. Yeah, he that dude was a rare talent, and sorry if you don't agree with me, that's okay. Shredder, absolutely. This guy, but he could lay down a ballad too. The problem is, and all the gear that hair metal bands played back then. I mean, all your Charvels, your Jacksons.
Yeah.
Your Ibanez at the time. Don't fucking hate me for it. I'm talking about 80s Ibanez. Not the shit that's fucking probably pretty much one of the premier shit nowadays. But
dude, fuckers love Ibanez. Love Ibanez.
You either love Ibanez or you're a fan of all the other shit. It's one or the other, really. Shredders love Ibanez now because Ibanez does. It plays like a sewing machine.
Yeah. Yeah, like if you're at that tier of playing.
But man, I've got an odd loyalty to ESP,
Oh no, they won my heart.
So, and I want to add another ESP to the home. So I don't know. We'll see. That's Steph Carpenter 8-string.
You're wanting to go ESP? Are you wanting to go ESP on that or LTD?
No, because that's $6,000. So yeah,
that's why I was like, ooh, shit. Okay,
no,
right. I got
bills.
Well, you get that same motherfucker about $1,400 right now.
yeah. But I've been talking about that one for a long time.
I think a baritone like a 7-string would fucking. That's one of the few tools you don't have over there, and it would be.
I got an acoustic, but that don't count.
Well, that goddamn guild counts, especially being a guild. Shit, an LTD 7-string over there would be just another fucking. Like, this thing can just do things these other motherfuckers can't.
Another riff machine, really.
Yeah. Oh, goddamn, yeah. Whew.
But
I'm going to have to think about that.
Yeah, I've still got the Les Paul. I love the way it plays. Let me backtrack. I liked the way it played. I put some elixirs on it, and I am not a fan.
Right, yeah. I remember that.
Brand new strings, and I'm just going to go through and cut them right the fuck off. And
damn.
Yeah, that's the way she goes, boys.
Yeah, well, I mean, you put new strings on a guitar and they don't sound the way you want them to. That's your only option.
It's distracting. It clangs around more than anything. It's like I've got small cymbals hanging between my balls.
Like a Hare Krishna dancer.
It's just like it's the same sound as a weed eater up against like a fence.
There you go. You got too close, motherfucker.
They just jangle and just vibrate and like, what the fuck is this? Like, so that's just clearly not a string I'd need to be using on a Les Paul anyway.
Right.
I'll be using probably string joys.
Yeah.
And if that's a fail, well, goddamn, I'm going to go right back to Ernie Ball.
Dude, Ernie Ball fucking slinkies, man. That's my grandfather would fucking string his Ovation with Ernie Ball slinkies. They weren't acoustic fucking, like, meant for an acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
But it sounded cool.
Yeah, so the string choice around here. So for the ESP, I got Diodario's on there.
Well, yeah, you got to dress that bitch up nice.
Yeah, and as of right now, I've got elixirs on the Les Paul. I have Taylor strings on the Guild. Well, Guild
that's kind of funny.
Guild doesn't make
No, they're like, no, we don't do strings.
Yeah. Let's see. I have the bottom end bass, Ernie Ball bass strings on the
nice.
Yamaha. Shit, I don't know.
And whatever the fuck's on the Schecter.
Schecter, the originals on that one, I think those are Diodario. But
how the fuck do you buy strings for that thing?
You break out the credit card.
Oh my God.
12 strings.
Yeah. And they're all very different.
Yeah.
But very specific.
Well, I mean, you've got your bass note and you've got your intervals, your octaves, but they're different string diameters. So.
Right. Well, that's why you get a hold of good people at Sweetwater.
If we had a luthier in town I trusted, I would take it to him. But no, I've got one I trust in Lubbock, but Well, if we're very honest here, Schechter doesn't. You've got to spend a lot of money, a king's ransom, to get it come with a hard case. So, and I have not purchased a case for that because I figured it's just going to hang out here. I can do a string change, but god damn, it's going to be expensive and take me half an afternoon.
I feel like when it gets a nut cutting time, you'll figure out how to do it.
Yeah,
I really do.
Well, I did for that Floyd Rose and in my ESP,
now that's crazy. Yeah, that's a task.
Yeah. It's and it's not perfect, but it's close enough to work for me. So that is one I would not mind taking it over there. Mick Luthier is the guy in Lubbock. I given him a free plug for some reason. Mick Luthier is one guy, runs the whole shebang. He's really knowledgeable about what he does, but if he thinks you're bullshit him, he's going to immediately tune you out or tell you to leave the store.
Oh, wow.
So, no, don't bullshit him. He's a good cat, but don't go try to feed him a line of shit. Like, yeah, man, I don't know what happened to this guitar. Yeah, you do. You know exactly what happened to this guitar. And I will fix it, but it's going to be expensive, and the guy's got skills. So
that's fucking all that matters right there.
And instrument only. That guy won't touch an amp. So except to plug into one to
Well, you got to fucking have your strength. I mean, it'd be cool if he could do both, but I mean, really at the end of the day.
Well, I think that's the thing we take for granted. We assume a lot of luthiers are also fucking electrical engineers and know what to do with a Class A amp and shit.
I mean, an electrician can help you with that. Man, well, we got a few minutes left.
I know we don't really talk about MMA much anymore, but there's a big card coming up tomorrow.
And there was actually one quick thing I wanted to bring up. They did some rule changes.
Yes.
Did you read about that?
Yeah, but go ahead.
The 12-6 elbow is now legit.
John Jones wants that shit scrubbed off his record. Wants to
I
turn
agree
to
with
no
it.
contest.
I agree 100%.
He and Dana White have both been fucking pulling for that for a while, though.
But I feel like the one hurdle, he did something illegal, is now gone.
Where's that at? Show me on the books.
If you're in jail for smoking weed and then they make weed legal, they got to let you out of jail.
Probably.
Especially if you're running back to get that.
Sounds like Texas wouldn't, though, right?
No, Texas ain't going to pardon nobody. Nah. Texas, the old Texas pardon, that sounds like a sexual position.
Old Two-Wheel Bob running the whole thing over there. Or whatever his name is.
Two-Wheel Bob. One of the Abbott brothers. But that, shit. And they, my bad. Is that a joke of political violence?
I don't know. I'm glad I didn't give you a birthday cake, because I'd have to end this whole thing tomorrow.
No more podcasts. Over. They also made the definition of a downed opponent fucking far more none of this having your hand on the ground and shit. You got to have an elbow or a knee down now to be considered down.
Okay, I didn't read it the same way. I read it that they were just saying, no, even if you don't have a hand or a foot down, and you're the way I read it, it sounded like if you flop down on your ass, that you're still a downed opponent. They can't kick you in that.
Oh, no, absolutely. The verbiage was you need to have 2 points of contact down other than feet and hands.
Left cheek, right cheek.
That's right. That's how I start every day. But yeah, we got a big card tomorrow. Airing for the good people of Britain at 3 a.m. for the main card.
They're really fucking them. But then I thought about it, it's Manchester. Everybody in Manchester's a dummy anyway. They don't even.
Yeah, they'll be half in their cups by then.
Well, supposed to drink this? No, sir, it's your piss. Don't drink it. Nope, sir, I said don't drink it.
God damn it, he drank it.
Walk away from the piss.
God damn it, he drank it.
Woolly backs. That's what they call them over there in England.
I'm glad they have a name at least.
Yeah, Manchester. Yeah.
But what do you think about an interim title being defended?
I don't. That's a fight I care about the outcome, but I don't really care if the interim title's on the line. Talking Curtis Blades and
your interim champion Tom Aspinall.
Yeah, Aspinall's a better fighter all the way around, except in wrestling. And when you have that, you have the possibility at heavyweight. Yeah. If Curtis Blades can get Tom Aspinall down. That doesn't mean shit. Tom Aspinall's fucking uses fucking jiu-jitsu and tapped people before. But if Curtis Blades can get an advantageous takedown, and start slinging them big fucking arms of his. You never know what'll happen to
And
heavyweight.
sapping that tank of Aspinall, which the dude has one. He's a fit heavyweight.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He does not have to cut weight.
He's-
I think Curtis Blades might have to a little bit, but nothing too crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's going to be a good one. Do I give a shit about the interim status? I fucking absolutely do not.
Yeah.
But it's a fight that has to happen, just like Jones and Miocic has to happen. And then when that gets done, if John decides he's going to retire, then cool, because whoever wins tomorrow's fight will probably likely then become the champion.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's me assuming a Jones victory over Stipe, but I think
When the
that's
fuck was the last time Stipe fought? Jones has fought since.
Oh yeah.
And that's when he won the belt.
Yep.
Stipe has not fought either.
Yeah, I love the opinion pieces I've been reading this week since I've been on staycation. Opinion pieces on, well, Jones should probably do what Jamal Hill did and recognize if you're not going to be able to defend your title in a timely manner, then just go ahead and give it up. I'm like, no, John's not going to do that. Go fuck yourself.
No, that title has had to be pried away from him because he did stupid shit.
Yeah.
Either if none of that shit had happened, fucking John Jones, there would be no other fucking light heavyweights to talk about. Pereira wouldn't even be an option.
No.
Although John Jones at light heavyweight and Alex Pereira at light heavyweight, that'd be one hell of a fight.
I think so too.
And like 5 years ago.
5 years ago, yeah.
John Jones at heavyweight going against Alex Pereira at heavyweight, I don't like Alex Pereira's chances.
No, especially because Jones took 2.5 years to move from light heavy to
Yeah.
heavyweight. That's only, well, I say only, but that's only a difference of 60 pounds moving up. But the size of frame has to change.
It only took DC about 2 weeks.
And a donut shop.
Yeah.
But that dude took 2.5 years to build that fucking frame.
Right.
Not just put weight on by muscles. It doesn't matter. Conor McGregor can get as buff as he wants to on all the roids he wants to and all of his bullshit and everything else. It doesn't matter. That guy's frame is still welterweight at best.
Yeah. No, there's, and even then he's kind of small.
Kind of, yeah, a little bit. You can make
He
the
was
argument.
a huge featherweight.
Yeah,
a
you could-
small welterweight.
Yeah,
Perfect
you can make that
lightweight.
argument lightweight. Yeah, but still, that's the thing is that
Yeah.
his frame hasn't changed. John Jones changed his frame.
Right. Well, thankfully, though, that's just your co-main.
Yeah,
You know, the main event is an actual title fight, welterweight title. Fucking Bilal.
a redo.
Yeah. Let's, well, we got the new gloves now. Let's hope for a different result, huh?
Yeah, Bilal Muhammad and eye poking Leon Edwards.
God damn. It's weird how much hate this guy gets. It really
Which one?
is. Leon.
Because he's a cunt.
That's kind of
I
how
thought
I
you were
feel
going to
as
say
well.
Bilal. I was like, I don't know. Why would
No,
that guy
no,
get it?
Bilal. I like Bilal's attitude.
Yeah,
He basically told Manchester, like, I hate Manchester.
good. Yeah. When all
Some
you
Colby
assholes drunk at, fucking 6:30 in the morning, I want all of you to fucking just get really mad.
Oh, dude, there'd be riots in the street for about 10 minutes, and then everybody's just going to pass fuck out.
Yeah, how do you do an event when the main card starts at 3 a.m. local?
How do you fucking plan your drinking when you're in Britain?
What do you just sleep till fucking 10 p.m. and catch a fucking black cab to? Oh, well, it's in Manchester. Catch a fucking a hackshaw from a hackney.
Hackshaw?
Oh, hackney running you down the
That's a
streets.
new one on me. Is that like a rickshaw?
One of them shaved apes that live in Manchester to run you down the road in a fucking little wheelbarrow or something and dump you off there at their shitty little arena.
So I'm assuming we're rooting for Bilal here.
Yes. Yeah. Leon Edwards has done nothing to make himself look less like a cunt. He's not.
He won. I mean, goddamn, dude. Kamaru, that fight with Kamaru really, like, ruined everything in the welterweight division, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so. Because you remember, once upon a time, it was fully acceptable for them to set up a Masvidal Edwards fucking fight.
Yep. Well, that's when you get that three-piece.
Yeah. 3-piece and a soda backstage. Yeah, if Masvidal comes walking up to you with his hands behind his back, look fuck out.
If anybody does that, ain't anybody seen these Western movies? God damn. And there's a few on there. Patty, I'm kind of hoping he gets throttled, but really, I don't care too much.
He's from Liverpool, which is a far superior city to Manchester.
Give us those mouth breathers, the Beatles, right?
Yeah, well, there is that, right?
Okay.
Ain't gonna lie.
Hey, no, goddamn it, I like the Beatles. Come on.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with Patty Pimble. Why do people hate this fucking guy? I don't understand.
I think they hate him because he's able to cut weight for a fight, and then after he wins that fight, because that's all that dude has done since being in the UFC, he goes being a fat shit in about 2 weeks, enjoys life, then gets a fight announced, and then he's back to being shredded.
Well, we're angry that he enjoys himself.
That pisses me off. I can't do that.
Goddamn. Well, maybe get over yourself on that shit. Goddamn.
I want to be able to eat cheesecake sandwiches and then have a fucking 6-pack of abs.
Hey. Man, so who you got in that one?
I think Patty's going to win it.
Okay.
I really do.
I'm
Bobby
kinda
Green or
hoping he
King,
does.
Bobby King Green.
I've never been a fan of Green, but the problem is every time I pick against Bobby Green, motherfucker gets a win every time.
He's got an awkward fighting
so
style,
I'm
man.
going to pick Bobby Green to win.
Oh, shit. Well, we don't know who that is because he's fighting King Green. King.
Oh, Bobby King.
Bobby
King Green.
Bobby King Green.
Because he legally changed the name to Bobby King Green.
No, his name's just King Green.
Oh, he dropped the Bobby?
Yeah, he ain't Bobby no
So it's King Green.
It's John Attic announced him for the face-offs today and just called him King Green.
All right.
It'd be funny if his nickname was Bobby.
King Bobby Green.
That actually has a pretty good fucking ring to it.
Not bad.
Oh, goddamn.
Well, shit, we call it a day.
Might as well. It's
we
been
had
a long
time?
day.
We had time.
I think we're well past.
Oh, shit. Yeah, let's wrap it up. Like I said, I think next time we might have Krista back. Fingers crossed.
There's only one way to
Life
find
gets back to normal as summer starts to wind down. So,
Thank fuck.
yeah, thanks to Ruben for being on the last one. I don't think I'd fucking pointed that out at the end. And again, thanks you, man. If you've been tuning in for multiple episodes, thanks. I guess
Love you.
we're not doing it for you, but glad to have you along for the ride. You can't just dip in and listen to one. We base all of this shit on our regular lives, and we lead regular fucking lives.
Yeah.
And
We're not here to
use this
inform.
shit. We use this shit in order to keep things regular.
Yeah. Like Kaopectate.
It's like graham crackers. Or
Ain't that the
something.
name of the shit that, like, if you have diarrhea, it makes your shit hard?
Does it?
Kaopectate?
I don't-
Pectate?
I don't know.
We'll ask Krista when she's here in 2 weeks.
Yeah, she's the one who knows it. She knows all things shit, right? She'd say that nurses pride themselves on knowing shit.
That's true. Well, I mean, I guess that's the first way to find out somebody died.
Hey, so check out the Jerry Cantrell Vilified. It is out there on the YouTubes.
New album, October 18th.
Far out. Maybe we'll catch him live. Maybe.
Yeah, he's going to be on tour with Candlebox and Bush. Like right now.
Well, fucking far out. See you next time, huh?